Alright, well it looks like I'm streaming. I'm actually just going to test to make sure the audio keeps up. So I can hear myself. It's kind of annoying. Let's see. Let's see if we can watch this. Ah, there we go. Oh man. Definitely shutting that off. Alright. I can hear myself. So I'm going to take a few seconds since we're not technically started. And try and shut off the audio, because I don't need to hear this. Sources. USB. We'll do Wirecast. Stream. Okay. Well, it looks like I don't have a great way to fix it. So I'm probably just going to stream without audio, because it's going to drive me crazy. Alright, well, welcome. In case you're watching, I know no one's really watching right now because this is mainly a test and I just decided to do it tonight. We're going to be doing a mining live stream for 1 hour. Before we get started, I'm going to kind of go over some of the things that I've been doing around the base, just to kind of give you a heads up. I've had creeper problems. I was out too late, I had too many creepers spawn. I've got a cave around. This whole area got just blown up. My bed was blown up and destroyed, so I'm down to one bed. This was my travel bed. Now it's my main bed. I've expanded my tree farming area and just kind of letting that grow with some oak. I've obviously done some organization. I've cleaned out the inner area here. This is actually becoming a little cluttered, so I wanted to open it up. I'm going to start putting glass in here eventually. I expanded my farming to include potatoes and netherwort over there. So now I don't have to go over there for potatoes. Not that I use potatoes a lot, but I just don't want to deal with it. I have eaten through all of my potato stock, which means I am ready to switch to chicken. I should probably only need a stack, so I'm just going to leave that there. Big thing today. So this is the first time I'm going to be using a bow. I'm going to be mining with a bow. Well, not mining with a bow, but having a bow on me while I'm going. Just because I don't want to strain myself running around, maybe getting accidentally knocked into some lava. So to prepare for this momentous occasion, I've made a few modifications to the mine. I've always been kind of dropping in the main chute here. That's been fine, but it's kind of risky and I don't like it. I just wanted a fast drop chute right here. So I've added one. Whee! Splash. Alright. Since I'm mining, I don't need an axe, and I really clock, so I'm just going to empty out my inventory for that. I know at some point I'm going to be coming back here, so I'm going to drop off most of this material and have an arrangement like so. So this is going to be my main mining layout, probably indefinitely for the series. It will be useful, I think, to have everything laid out this way. So I'm just going in with a pick, a shovel, and my sword. Now I did make another pick. This one has Fortune 2, which I was really lucky to get so early on. And this one's just a regular unbreaking. So I'm actually going to use this one for the main bulk of my mining, and then just go back for the rest. My armor is getting a little bit low, but I'm actually looking at enhancing my armor setup anyway. So I'm just going to not worry about that. We'll go ahead and mine. So here we go. Get going. Now I could probably, if I'm smart about this, probably rearrange this now that I think about it. Just go straight to keep my torches here. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to get plenty of cobblestone. Now, if you saw at the front there, I don't really need all that redstone. I'll just mine this normal. Saving this mainly for like diamonds or iron, things like that. So just fill those in. You'll notice I had kind of a more advanced setup with my downstairs furnace. I set up another little mini super smelter. It doesn't have the back coal feed input, but what it lacks in coal input, it makes up for just sheer compactness, and I don't have to deal with it. I'm not expecting to get necessarily like a ton of coal. I really haven't been in this environment, but I think that that could change. So I'll be getting coal, I'm sure, but I'm going to dump that all into a resource chest before. Now, I'm not really going to a particular distance. I've done that in the past, but what I'm going to be trying to do is go with more of a, how full is my inventory, which is why I'm emptying out most of my inventory. I'm kind of coming in here with just useful stuff. I did think about bringing ladders, but I'm just like, that would be more like if I'm going to be doing some caving or anything like that. Ooh, I should really light this up. If I'm, going to be running around inside of a cave, and I'm really not. So I'm not going to worry about running up into caves. I will mark, or just kind of remember off the top of my head if there's a cave I want to go exploring for later. But for right now, I don't really want to deal with running around inside of caves and ravines and all that. It's just kind of not what I want to do tonight. I want something nice, simple, where I can just kind of mine quietly and peacefully, not worry about all the details. Getting up and around and navigating. I'm just looking to shut down and go with it for now. So that would be good. Alright. Got a little redstone here, which is nice. Yeah, I'm going to use the fortune pick here because if when you're hitting up on redstone, you actually do get a little XP when you get redstone, so I think that's going to be worth it. Alright, knock you out, pick up an extra torch. So, this is kind of what I've been building up to, right? Up until this point, I've just been kind of mining for the sake of resources when I need them. But now I'm at a point where I don't need resources. I'm no longer at a subsistence level for mining. I'm actually just mining to get a bank of resources, right? This is all storage resources. So while I'm not a huge fan of some of these materials, like I hit a major vein. What is this, diorite? It is nice to know that I can kind of get better at putting torches down. It is nice to know that I'll have a store of it that I can use for later if I suddenly get sick of everything else and want to do a little bit of decorating. Now, frankly, with the way this map works, yeah, see right there, diamonds. I could pretty much decorate with diamond blocks if I really, really felt like it. But I'm not going to do that yet. I actually think that looks cheap when people use really expensive materials. I'll use the fortune pick here because I think that might help me get more coal. I don't know. Does it help me get more coal? I'll have to look up in the forums. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I have a few more repairs on this pickaxe, so I don't think it'll be too bad if I'm wasting my pick here. I don't know. If anybody's watching or if anybody ever watches, if I don't look it up, you just go ahead and put that in the comments. I won't be offended. I know how comments work. I know what they're for, and I'm perfectly happy to get them. So, go ahead. I don't mind. I'm tough. I can take it. Alright. We'll just mine because I know through here. Oh. A little deep. Alright. There we go. Let's go and light this. Oh. Looks good. Light that while I'm at it. And keep on trucking. So I'm really just kind of going until my inventory's full. I've got 4 chests set up to take resources at the of this particular mine tunnel branch mining. I don't know. But I have more chests in there, so if I'm having a really good dig, and just getting lots of stuff in this hour that I'm mining tonight, then that's good. I'll have plenty of room to expand and keep going with that storage. Now, thinking about my process, I do want a super smelter on the surface, just in case I need to run stuff through. Probably not a huge one, probably like a 4 wide smelter. Just make sure I'm using the right pick. A 4 wide smelter, but I'm probably going to put like an 8 to a 16 wide smelter down here. And if you ever don't know what a super smelter is, it's like an industrial furnace, I guess is a better term for it. I know that's what Daedalus822 calls it. That's the tutorial I kind of went off of. And according to him, it's not necessarily the most efficient of them, but I have never ever found anything wrong with that design. Ever. I actually find it quite efficient. I guess the only thing I don't like about it, now that I think about it, is if something gets in there, if something gets stuck in there, you have to pretty much, tear off anything you have to decorate it and just start, digging around for what might be wrong with it. There's no kind of safety mechanism or anything like that. And, thinking about the design, I don't know that there could be. I think that would be kind of difficult. Now, I am going to be building a lift. So the idea is I'm able to mine, drop off my resources into just a bucket, and have them either go through a smelting process and head towards the surface afterwards, or just head straight up into the surface. Now, at the top of that surface, I'm probably going to put in some kind of smelting mechanism, and I have thought storage mechanism, which I'm probably going to keep under the house. I thought about keeping my storage up above, but sorting systems are ugly, and if I'm going to keep my storage, I want to have it all sorted, and I haven't found a way to make a storage system look pretty from the back end. And my house, the mill I have going, is just not big enough to support that. So I've decided that for my particular mill this time around, I'm going to keep any kind of mass item storage underground. So any kind of sorting system is going to be underground. Any kind of smelting is going to be largely underground. I'm going to keep a lot of the processing stuff. So like my crafting area will probably be underground, but my I'm thinking this is going to sound weird, but I want to keep my sugarcane farm upstairs and my netherrack upstairs in the house. I don't actually want to keep it outside and separate. I want to keep it with like the house and the actual material. So like I'll have my anvil and my enchanting system next to each other. I'm not quite sure which floor I'm going to put that on necessarily, but I want to keep the sugarcane next to that, as well as a cow breeder, some kind of cow facility. Like I'm not a huge fan of like having a giant mechanism and it's just basically a hole with cows in it, like a single 1x1 hole with cows in it. I feel like that's a little ridiculous and not very realistic, but I do want to have some kind of breeding setup mechanism in there so I can do leather, have my wood not too far away. That'll obviously be outside the house, but just kind of an efficient, thoughtful setup, I guess, is kind of what I want to do. So we'll be thinking about how we want to do that, how big that's going to be. I'm going to do a fair amount of measuring before I do that, but before we get all that, I've got a whole long list of stuff that I got to get done. I gotta go find sheep. I gotta go find I don't really need pigs, but I like having all the pigs. Probably in the next couple episodes I'm gonna go to some desert temples, areas where I know that desert temples are where they tend to spawn in this map. You know, I know that just as well as I know where the villages are. And I'm going to go try and find a saddle. Because if I'm going to be traveling around getting resources and getting, you know, animals and things like that, I am going to need a horse. And I know where to go find horses. And I have gotten them, you know, all the way from where they are, which is not a short distance south, back here. And it's done. And I've even done it in survival, so I'm not too worried about that. But I just want to make sure I have a plan. I have a plan for all of it, you know. It's important to go in with a plan. If you don't go in with a plan, you know, what's the point, right? Dig all this out. Alright. And delicious. So, in this particular map, well, I guess in any Minecraft thing I've ever done, this is probably the first time I've mined with 2 picks. I've, you know, even worried about it. Ooh, getting full fast. And that's kind of unusual for me. Normally I don't really care, but because I don't usually have the diamonds or the enchanting set up. But on this map I can really be more focused. Now I know if you're a fan of like Daedalus, he has got, you know, resources like crazy, but he spends a ton of time. I don't know what he does for a living. I don't know how he manages to spend that much time playing Minecraft, but he plays a lot. A lot. And from what I understand, he makes money doing this, and more power to him, right? Like the structure of my job says that I can do this for my, you know, regular paying work. That's great, but I couldn't keep up with his schedule. I mean, he builds like crazy. I mean, he's running, what, at least 2 series. He does his mining live streams, which I guess this is where that's where I got the idea for this one, frankly. Because I'm just like, I need to do mining, and that's boring, and I should just probably turn it into a video like Data does. But, man, you know, I've downloaded his maps, and he says he doesn't do anything inside of, or outside of just regular old survival Minecraft, and I believe him. But I don't know how he does it. Maybe it's like an Australian thing. It must be like Superman. Who knows? Data, you're a Superman if you ever see this. So, yeah, that's kind of my overall plan. Plenty of resources. Oh, man, where was this coal when I first started? Slime farm. That's something I've been wanting to talk about. Just put this here. Yeah, I'll just fill it up. Who cares? Got cobble for days already. I found a spot for the slime farm. And I think I might have mentioned this in another video, but who cares? I'm just talking right now. The slime farm, the place I want to build the slime farm, which is going to be kind of modeled after one of Daedalus's slime farms, is a fair distance away. And I thought about it. If I want to build the slime farm there, which I do, I have a couple of options. I can either build another portal system out there, or I can build a command block teleporter contraption that will get me basically to where I want to go. Now, I've thought about the nether portal. Honestly, I have, but I think I don't want to use the nether portal system, partially because everybody does the nether portal system. I think that it's a great thing, but I don't think that I want to go there. I mean, they're a little imprecise for my liking. I know that there are things that you can do, there's sites you can go, and there's calculations you can do to make it more predictable where the nether portals pop up. But there's a specific spot that I want to go, that I want to start in, and it will require that I do a lot of digging and all that. Believe me, I'm gonna have to make up for the work that I use or that I lose in using a command block to get out there. But I'm going to do 2 things to kind of make up for that level of cheat. One, I'm going to use a command block setup that I've been using in my server world that is kind of fancy, actually. It's kind of got a cool effect. It's cool to see, it's cool to run, and it's not necessarily instantaneous. So I'm not going to be putting in less work than I otherwise might. I'm going to be putting in just as much work as I normally would, but I'm doing it in a different way. Now, that being said, I'm not going to go in with MC Edit and doing this per se. So, to give you an idea, I found an abandoned mine shaft. And you know how abandoned mine shafts have those large rooms with the dirt floors? That's where this thing's going to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself there just to build the teleport pad itself. And this is a really cool pad. And I'm going to build the pad by and large in survival mode. So I'm not going to be... Oof, don't have much left. I'm going to build it in survival as much as possible. Now when it comes time to do the command blocks, I believe I can place the command blocks in survival, which I will, but I cannot edit them in survival. So that's where I'm going to kind of go in there. Now, to make up for that, just on a visual angle, I'm actually going to do a tutorial video on how I'm setting up the actual teleport pad, because it's kind of fun, and not a lot of people do command blocks. You know, the tutorial series that I watch, they don't use them. They don't show how they use them. They don't do any tricks like that. And I think I get why. I mean, you know, it's not the regular part of the game. It's far more technical. But I think that's where this series is really going to be able to shine, in that it's unabashedly technical. We're looking at Minecraft for everything that it can do, not just the easy stuff that, you know, little kids can pick up on their own. I want to show you stuff that takes some thought, that really takes some research and some planning. And I just think that it's a whole new layer of Minecraft that I wish more people would explore, is working with command blocks. When I first started working with command blocks, it wasn't easy. I'll be honest. The resources just kind of weren't there. You know, you look for like a tutorial video or something to really get you started, because you can read the documentation and that kind of tells you what to do, but until you see someone doing it in like a video format, it just doesn't stick. It's just not meaningful. So I want to do this in more of a interactive format. I want to show you how these things work. I want you to be able to really appreciate the complexity and just what it takes to set it up, which means, you know, you're going to be watching on camera and I'm going to be, you know, making mistakes and getting things messed up, and that's going to be okay, because you're going to see that, yeah, like, I know what I'm doing and I still make mistakes, and that's okay. There's no shame in making mistakes. Everybody thinks that when you're doing, you know, high-end, cool, really awesome technical things, that you know exactly what you're doing the whole time. You never make a mistake, and that is not how it goes. By any stretch of the imagination. So I think this is about full. I could drop off my gravel, but I find, you know, having a stash of gravel is useful. So I'm going to head back. We're just going to run our way back. That's good. How far did I make it? Let's just see. I made it to... Yeah. Not bad. 473. So let's see. I dig. Well, yep. Aha! Alright. Now we're talking. I'm going to cut this open and see if I can make it that far again, right? Kind of a goal to reach. Alright. So I'll head this back this way. Now, what we're also doing is we're also checking if there's anything I missed. Right? So I'm kind of looking at the floors, I'm looking at the ceilings. When you get that mine mode, especially when you're talking, you can just mine right past some resources. So I'm keeping an eye on the ceiling. Now what I have done in the past is, as I go back this other stretch, I'll actually just mine up and mine out this last block, and that'll let me get an additional layer of resources above me. but I don't care on this map. I'm getting tons of resources as is, and that's a good thing. So I'm not going to worry too bad about that for now. Man, oh man. Long tunnel. Oh, heavens. Alright. Almost there. I've hardly used any hunger so far. So since I've been playing, I've jumped up about 8 levels. So this is definitely a good map for getting materials. Let's put our vital resources up first. Our diamonds, our lapis, our redstone, our coal. Then we'll put our cobble. Yeah. Doing good. That was not a bad run. Not bad at all. Alright. Oh, redstone. Looks good. Now, like I said, I am bringing my bow and arrows, and that's just a choice. I could probably grab more resources, in fact. Now that I think about it, who cares? I don't need them. I didn't need them that run. I'm not working at any caves that are any more or less complicated than that. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave those here this time around. That'll let me get a little farther than I did before. So we'll just go ahead and drop that here, and we'll leave these. I believe I have them resources in here. Yep. So just drop that here, here, and it'll be good. Alright, let's start a new section after we grab this redstone. Alright. Good, good, good. Alright, shaft number 2. Now, I'm probably not going to get as much here because if you look, the way I mine, if I start getting a resource here, I'll dig it all the way out here. So I'm more likely to find resources on this side than I am this side. But that's okay. I mean, really, my goal is to try and kind of get, nearly everything. I'm not going for everything, just most of everything. And that's sufficient for, for my needs right now. I'm not trying to mine every block. I mean, if I had a beacon, I might try and get every block, try and smooth everything out, have a giant open space underneath. That's another thing I should probably talk about. A beacon. In my head, there's this order. Like, the Ender Dragon goes down first. And I get that. But when you beat the Ender Dragon, it kind of feels like the map's over. Notch wasn't kidding when he said it feels like you need some kind of boss character to beat, even though you can just turn around and start playing the game like normal. I totally agree. But the second I beat the Ender Dragon, which I've only really formally done once, and that was just recently on my server. The second I did that, it was over. We were kind of done, It's like, good job, everyone. We beat the boss, and it's probably just that gamer psychology where it's like it's over. So I am probably going to defeat more withers than I am. I'm going to defeat several withers before I ever take out the Ender Dragon. Now, I will take out the Ender Dragon, and I will do it soonish, because having access to that many Ender Pearls, being able to build an Ender farm, is really tempting. Like, I see people, how much they use, Ender Pearls to get around, and that's awesome. And I want to be able to do that. Legitly, But to do that, I've got to go kill the Ender Dragon. I mean, I suppose I could, in theory, keep him alive, but man, that seems really hard. Because he destroys everything he touches, and unless I want to build an entire trellis out in the middle of nowhere made of obsidian, without dying, that's going to be hard. I mean, if you think about it, the only way for me to get anything back after, you know, getting all that those ender pearls is to use ender chests, and then I have to die. There's no way around it. So I would have to do all my enchanting, I think, in the end. I mean, maybe people can correct me about that. There's might be different ways of doing it, but I cannot think of any. So yeah. All right. Let me check a few settings really quick. Make sure we're actually streaming. Looks like we are. Okay. Just lagging behind. That's okay. Alright. Continue on our way. Yeah, so I'm loving this chicken. You know, there's something about having a chicken farm up and running that just... Ugh, it's so satisfying. Because you just turn it on, fill it with chickens, and you can pretty much forget it. Right now I've got it in a mode set up where I'm actually feeding the eggs that get dropped into the dispenser, and it actually gives me quite a bit more chicken per lava flush, I guess you could say. But I have worked with this thing, and I've just left the lava there, and it still produces a good amount of chicken. Right now it's also producing feathers, which I'm going to be using for a bow and arrow setup. As I do more enchanting, I'm going to be able to get an infinity enchantment, and once I have that, I'm really not going to worry too much about my bow and arrow, because, you know, once you've got infinity, you pretty much need one arrow, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Now, I'm going to have a supply of arrows just in case my infinity bow breaks or I die, but as I enchant and, you know, more and more, I'm simply not going to need them, because I'll start to have more and more infinity enchanted books that let me then turn around and just, you know, not worry about arrows anymore. So, but as I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of wondering where I want to put my chicken farm. So we've talked about the base a little bit, and we talked kind of about where I want to put my industrial furnace. You know, again, that's Data's design, or at least the one that he's using. I don't know if it's his, but I don't know what level I want to put the resources on. So like I could put an industrial furnace the first floor down, and I've done that before, and it works okay. But like, you don't use the industrial furnace that often, and I like to go with like a stacked based layout, if that makes any sense. So everything kind of feeds upwards or downwards, as the case may be. So what I've done is I've done smelting on the first level down, and then I've done, you know, agriculture, and then underneath that I've done a storage system. That's like a standard sorting system, and I tend to do them very compact. Like, I try and fit them under the mill, and you've seen how big the mill is by now. It's like, what, 14 by 15 at its base, and it'll extend out a little bit beyond that underground, but I don't know that that's necessarily the best way to do it. I mean, I want to keep my resources right near where they are, so I'm probably going to keep farming outside near the top, and probably put my sorting system and storage on the very next level down. That makes sense. That way, as I'm thinking as I'm mining, which is dangerous. That way, as I go, I can build other stuff underneath it. So maybe that's the way I want to go. Maybe I'll put my chicken farm, because chicken farms are noisy. Like, you know, if there's one thing that I've learned that people who play Minecraft don't like, is they don't like chickens and they don't like rain, because it's loud, it's noisy. And it's just not well received. I mean, it's necessary because chickens make noise, and, you know, if you've ever been around real chickens, they are loud and they stink. Don't ask me how I know that. But I think I'm going to keep them underground, now that I think about it. Probably a layer or two down. I'm going to have to do some testing how far away chickens need to be before you just don't hear them. And put them down there. And I'll probably keep my... Yeah, maybe I'll put my cows down there too. Maybe I'll put my workshop... Yeah, I'll put my workshop underneath. Yeah, okay. Alright, so visualize this in your head. I have my mill, and the first level down, I'm going to have my sorting system. The sorting system has a line that goes from basically an item elevator that goes down from the mine up into the sorting system. At one floor down, I'm going to have my chickens, cows, and my smelting, or in my blacksmith shop, basically. Anywhere I'm going to be improving weapons, enchanting. My anvil is going to be set up there. That'll be like where my crafting will be kind of right below, but accessible from the sorting area. And then beneath that, that's where I'm going to have like my animals, my resources, and then I can just feed those directly into a lift. Now, I don't know if you can have a dual feed lift, and what I mean by that is the lift system I use, currently I've only ever tried it lifting on the bottom, and whenever I've tried to make anything else, it kind of leaks out the top or out of the sides. So I'm going to have to do some experimenting to see if I can have multiple inputs on the same lift. If not, I can just work with that and make some hopper lines that'll send items around, and maybe there's a secondary lift station where things kind of feed in and then run into another hopper set and then just feed into a different lift. That's an option too. So that ought to be good. Alright. Looks good. Alright. Oh, why am I digging myself into a hole? Filling in the hole. Way to go, Smithers. Alright, so we're mining. I'm really glad I made this extra pick. Because I'm looking at, the pick I have here is efficiency 3. Or unbreaking 3, and this is an unbreaking 1, but I have a feeling I'm mining so much that would take a good chunk out of this pick. So I'm glad I'm conserving my good pick. Looks good. Alright. Plenty of coal. Love it. Alright. Looks good. Alright. Plenty. Let's see, how close am I getting? Wonderful. Alright, about 100 more units to go, and I'm at my old stopping point. So, plenty of room left. Plenty of room. This is great. Go a little farther, get some more resources. That'll be good. Alright. Ha. Like that. Now, I think I might actually run out of torches before I get there. We'll see. We will see if the torches last longer than my inventory. I bet they will. I'm probably going to have to turn around and get a few more torches, and that's okay. And frankly, I think for now, the big thing I was testing tonight was, does this work? As I'm looking at, the streaming software I'm using, I had some trouble with it in the past, and it kind of made me want to give up. But I think I want to ask myself, am I able to get that to work now? And I think the answer appears to be yes. So I think before it gets too late, I'm going to want to call it a night and just make sure that this actually worked properly. So that ought to be good. So we'll give ourselves about 5 more minutes or so, or 5 more minutes, or when the torches run out. Probably when the torches run out. Then we'll do a little wrap up, and we'll call it a night. But I think this has been a very productive mining session. Actually, I don't normally just mine normally, right? Like normally what I do is I'll just grab the resources that I need, go out, move on with what I was doing. I don't stockpile, and if I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis, I need to stockpile, or all of my videos are going to be about, gotta go back down to the mine, gotta get some resources, because I can't work on my project until I'm done with, until I have more resources. So I think in order to avoid that, we're just going to have to do some power mining. So I think that's not a bad thing. And to be honest, this is kind of soothing. Alright. Looking good. Some more lapis. Lapis is actually a real substance. For a long time, it was one of the only ways you could get the color or the pigment blue, which I just found interesting. Like, I have an artistic background, but not like a painting background. Here we are. There we go. And it was interesting just to read up on pigment. Frankly, I read a lot. I'm a huge Wikipedia person. I know it's not like the hugely most reliable whatever in the world, but you know what? Wikipedia is fun reading. Even if half of it's not true or verifiable or whatever. It's not really scholarly. It's just, I want to know information. And in general, in my opinion, if it's a worthwhile subject that might even be partially debated, you're going to find people in the world who will edit it and change it and dispute things. And some people, you'd be surprised at how much people won't stand for stuff that isn't true or is contrary to their opinion. Reddit is right there. People constantly arguing about information all the time, and Reddit is a forum. It's just like the old Roman forums. It's all about communication and sharing ideas, and just telling people what you think. I see a lot of value in that. Man, oh man, lava, it will burn you. Alright. Oh, hello. I'll get you later. Alright. Still want to burn out these last few torches. No torch. There we go. Delicious diamonds. It does feel kind of unfair with what I've done to this particular map as it relates to resource spawning. Having a fortune pick just makes it even easier. For those of you who haven't been watching the series, I did mess with the world spawn settings. I took advantage of I think it's the 1.8 features that lets you tweak the spawning rates of certain things. I decided I wanted to mess around with it. I wanted to have a little bit of play in the resources. I decided, I want to get some resources a little earlier, a little easier. Just going to play on a map that or a spawn seed that I've played on before, and I didn't really want to spend a ton of time just wandering around trying to figure out where things were. So this is just how I'm playing this map. If you don't like it, that's okay. Just you go ahead and tell me, and I'll just go okay. That's okay. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to watch it, really. I mean, if you don't like it, why are you watching it? I've never really understood those people who just kind of watch something just because they hate it so much. I don't think that's a very good way to live. But whatever, you know, if you like Heartburn, just keep going, right? Alright. Alright, torches. Alright. Now, I've kind of toyed with, you know, this channel isn't specifically necessarily just for Minecraft. I have toyed with playing other games. There's not a ton of games that lie to tinker like this one, so Minecraft's going to be my mainstay. I have thought about playing, you know, some fun and interesting games like Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is a game that I think would be fun to do on camera. I could see myself... This is such a bad idea. I could see myself doing a good amount of screaming playing that game. And that could be fun. I mean, personally, I really liked Mirror's Edge. I thought it was a really fun game. I've never gone through and actually beat it, so maybe that would be a fun thing to play through and do together, is go through the ending for it. Maybe talk about some insights. You know, just chat about games. I think that could be a fun activity to do together, don't you? Let me know. You know, if there's some games you want me to try out, take a look at and get my opinion on. I will do my best to see if I can play it. It does need to be a PC-based game. I'm not sitting down on my computer to figuring out how, or at my television and trying to figure out how to record off that too. I think, you know, the computer is a significant amount of work, more so than just playing the game. I tell you, I've been working on a good recording setup for a couple of weeks, if not years, if I think about it. So this will have to suffice for now. Let's see. Here we go. That's quite a bit of stuff. But yeah, I mean, you know, so some games that I really like. I've enjoyed the Hitman series. I've enjoyed the Arkham Cities. One, I actually lecture about the one in my class. I think Portal would be good to bring up. So I'll probably do that one. Let's see what else. Brutal Legend can be fun, but I thought about it, and I might not do that one. The Dawn of War series I've found might be good to bring up. I won't play through the whole thing, I think, because I don't think it's necessary, but maybe just touching on each one of them, talking about them for a little bit, might be a good idea. A good use of time for this particular series. Alright, we are doing great. Now, if you're wondering what the difficulty setting is in this world, it's actually on normal. I thought about playing on hard before, but I don't know. Hard is hard. I mean, it's not really that hard, but it's the kind of loss that I don't really want to have in this game. So, for instance, what I mean by loss is, you know, that first night when I was just first getting started, I could have lost all my villagers. And, you know, I would feel bad about that. That would be annoying. If I'm playing on hard, I'm getting, you know, tougher monster spawns, local difficulties going up faster, and I don't like it. When things that I build get blown up by creepers, it's not a good thing. I know I can actually turn that off if I really want, but you know, creepers are part of the game. So are Endermen, where they steal all your blocks. So I leave that on, but I don't like it too much. I mean, watching your whole world get blown up by creepers does not feel good, and it takes a second, a small lapse in judgment, and you know, maybe if on my personal time I might play at that level, but not on camera. I don't want to do that on camera. It just doesn't feel good. You know, looking dumb in front of the entire internet is not high on my life's goals at all, ever, if I can help it. So I'll probably just not... Ooh, almost full. Good. Probably not worry too much about going on to one of the hard settings for now, because I'm not that old of a player. I haven't been playing that long. Well, how long have I been playing Minecraft? I've been playing Minecraft since 1.7.9 thereabouts. So not long. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've really gotten into it. I know a fair amount about it. Not like a huge expert, but I have opinions. I know enough about game dev to have, I think, thoughtful opinions. But I'm not gonna, play on hard just because that's what the pros do. No, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because this is a tolerable way to do an online blog. A tolerable way to do an online blog for me, and I enjoy it. This is something I'm doing for fun because I like it. Because I like to watch it, and I like to emulate it. You tend to emulate that what you like, and god darn it, I like Minecraft videos. They're fun. I learn a lot from them, so I'm inclined to just emulate the parts I like. And if you don't like that, if you're offended by someone playing in just normal difficulty mode, if you're offended by someone going into MC Edit, messing around, using Mineways, using Chunkbase, well, that's okay. That's okay. You go feel that way, and you watch or don't. But this is how I play. Wow, looks like we are actually going to be going for the full hour. Now that I looked at it, holy cow! So that's actually not a bad way to gauge time, I guess. 64 torches will get you about an hour's worth of mining. So set up a nice metric for that. Keep track of it. It's going to be great. Basically about burned out a pick. That's awesome. So I think on this last torch, we'll call it a day. Right? Yeah, probably should. Of course, now that I got this last torch, I can pick up more resource. Oh, but I really shouldn't. Nom nom nom. Oh, just the last little bit. Oh, alright. Alright, let's head back. Probably grab some food, eat. So don't start starving. Do I want the flint? No, I don't. I can always get more flint. Plenty of cobblestone in the world. Plenty of diorite, but right now I'm just kind of building up a library of stuff. And I have enough flint. Ooh, I have enough flint to last me for a while, so no big deal there. Alright. Plenty of room for iron. See, this is why I pay close attention to when I run back. Because, like I said, while you're mining, while you got your head down, not totally paying attention to what you're doing, you can miss stuff. And that is not good. Because if you recall the first episode or two, I had no coal. I could not find coal. I could not get coal. I had to burn trees just to get charcoal. Now, late game, that's actually something I do pretty regularly, especially if I can produce a lot of trees easily, chop them down easily. In a more resource-hungry environment, where I don't have a lot of regular resources, it actually makes sense for me to do that, because then while I'm mining, I don't have to spend time, getting coal. I can just focus on getting other resources. But with an abundance of other resources, it's kind of leveled out. I don't need to ignore coal. have all my resources because they're all equally abundant. And the one I have trouble with the most is coal, so burning trees doesn't make sense right now. And it may never. Because I'm just on a resource scoop. Kind of funny. This has been a very different run for me, so I kind of like it. It's added a lot of spice. So I mean, and that sounds weird because this is the same seed that I've played with since I started playing Minecraft, but just changing the resource amounts has really changed some of my decision making, which is good. That's what I wanted it to do. So, I ran completely over diamonds and did not see them. How do you not see diamonds? Because gravel hits you on the head. Alright. That's why. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, the settings for the spawn has been very useful for just modifying the game in a very little ways. It's been very subtle. It looks like it's nighttime. And raining. Alright. Well, let's take a look at what I got. Looks like got 2 stacks of iron. Well, stacking a third of a stack of iron. I got tons of coal. Got what? 1, 2, 3, 5 stacks of coal, give or take. I've got basically 4 stacks of diamonds. Got lapis running out here. Alright, so we got about 6 stacks of lapis. Tons and tons of redstone. And a fair amount of cobble. 3 stacks. Yep. 3 stacks and a third of iron. So all in all, a really good haul. You know, I've got basically plenty for my furnaces down here, so we'll start this smelting, which is going to be awesome. All right, good. And then I think I'll put my less important resources down here, so that would probably be like my cobblestones. We'll just grab our cobblestone, set it all in here, get that smelting away. My coal we'll grab, bring up to the surface with us. The gravel I'm going to leave down here, the diorite, andesite, I'll leave down here. Grab all of our good, solid, valuable resources. We'll get ready to head up to the surface. Now, I'm not going to go up to the surface yet. I'm actually going to wait for day to come, which will be a while. Maybe I'll risk it. Should I risk it? Yeah, I got decent armor. So let's see. Plenty, good. All the really valuable stuff up at once. Oh, this is going to be intense. Alright, let's get this sorted out. We'll grab you. I don't want to come down for you later. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, did I just lose my clock? Oh well, I'll build another clock. Okay, here we go. Last thing before we call it a night. Now I don't have sound on, so I don't know what's coming. Alright. Alright. Got a zombie up here. Bet you I've got a creeper up here. I can tell I got a creeper. I know I got a creeper. Where are you? Creeper. Creeper. No? Let's make it day. Please work. Please work. And yes! All right. Well, thanks for joining me. If you like this, go ahead and leave a like. If you really liked it and you want to see some more, go ahead and hit subscribe. Otherwise, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And, oh, holy cow, I actually had subscribers. Chancellor Birchwood 11 and Jonathan Salvador. Sorry, I didn't even know you guys were watching. I totally thought I was going to be alone. Well, hey, guys, thanks for watching. I'm just going to let you know I'm saying hi. You're over in chat. Hi, guys. I didn't real. Let's see how I spell realize. Realize you were there. All right. Well, I'll call it a night. I'll stay on the chat in case you guys are still there. If not, have a great night.